for recording this. Hopefully everyone's okay with that.
Hey, got some Boise State representation.
Morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning. Can you see the slide, Eric?
I can.
Okay, cool. And it's not October anymore. In case you're wondering. Probably get started. What I want to do today, we'll have a couple minutes, but it's just a quick overview, reminder really of what these are, because we rolled them out in fall last year, and we're just now accepting applications. So just kind of go over them, and then it's really open to the community to ask questions. So. Teams is the platform I am least familiar with. There's all the participants. Todd. Why don't we go ahead and get started? So welcome everybody. My name is Dave Estrada. I'm the Associate Director for the Boise State University for Center for Advanced Energy Studies. I'm also an Associate Professor of Material Science here at Boise State, and I hold a joint appointment with the lab as the Deputy Director for Advanced Manufacturing Academic Research, right? So a lot of jobs. One of them is today to roll out or reintroduce you to Energy Frontiers. Before I do that, I want to just quickly offer the CASE staff. They're great to work with and really helpful in getting this program to where it is today. So Hillary, if you'll introduce yourself, and Matt, Michael, I see you're on. And if participants can keep yourself muted if you're not on. So Hillary, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Hillary Fischler, and I am with CASE. I am the Research and Education Advisor. You'll hear from my colleague, Michael Baskin, who's an Innovation Advisor, and just working with Dave to get everything all set up for Energy Frontiers. So if you have questions, you can always reach out to me. I'm here to help. So, yeah, hello.
Great, thanks, Hillary. Michael.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Baskin. I support the consortium from the innovation perspective, which is generally contests, entrepreneurship, and commercialization. But I am an energy aficionado and more of a clean tech guy with a background in EERE. And if I can support you in any way, please let me know. Lots of opportunity in this specific presentation, but also as we see things coming out of the federal government. And it's a great time to be involved in the energy transition. Thanks.
Great. And Matt.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Evans. I'm the communications lead at CASE. I'm mainly here to support Hillary and Dave. Welcome.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Did I miss anyone? I'm having trouble seeing my participants list. Any other of the associate directors or CASE staff on the call? If not, let's go ahead and move forward. So what we're doing here today, you probably saw the communication come out from Matt a while ago with the description and the application for Energy Frontiers. This is a new program at CASE. It was actually approved by our steering committee last fall. And we had an open house before Dr. Noel Bakhtian left to kind of introduce a bunch of programs that rolled out in the fall and or were approved. And we are now rolling this out and actually soliciting proposals. So in general, Energy Frontiers is a planning grant, right? We are offering this as an opportunity to the CASE community to have funds funds to build a team and go after large, mid-scale to large-scale center proposals, right? So we want to try to get to these centers of excellence in our CASE strategy. And this is one of the mechanisms that we're trying to enable CASE researchers to build the teams and go after those large, some people call it co-design research, convergent research type projects that require a team, right? So, you know, it's I use this quote from Albert Einstein, and I may have stole it from Harold Blackman for our internal grand challenges. But you can't solve a problem at the same level that it was created. You have to rise above it to the next level. And we're hoping that this is a program that helps catalyze that for CASE, right? So, you know, we're hoping that these energy frontiers, they're going to expand our collaborative reach across the institutions. If you read the solicitation, you see that we require 3 of the CASE partners to be involved in the team. We want to further our educational mission through research, right? These are planning grants for centers. A lot of those centers require workforce development, or these larger scale, this doesn't have to be a center, but these larger scale proposals require some kind of workforce development, integration of research and education. And we're really looking for innovations with global impact, right? If you're using this to go after ERC, National Science Foundation Engineering Research Center, Department of Energy, Energy Frontier Research Center, these really need to be kind of transformative research ideas that you're putting together as a team, right? We really want this program to catalyze transdisciplinary teams, advancing the energy field, and lead to federally funded CASE centers of excellence, right? So we have 3 topic areas that we're soliciting, right? But there's only 1 award across the 3 areas, right? So we are, one topic is resilient critical materials economy, right? This could be replacing rare earth elements and with other materials, for example. New sources of rare earth elements, what are the human factors and how we use these materials, recycle these materials, are there advanced separations methods, right? So all these different things can come together into one large scale team to try to pursue research or center in resilient critical materials economy, right? The other area that we are soliciting is accelerating energy transitions. This is kind of a pretty broad umbrella: clean water policy, carbon sequestration, cybersecurity, IoT sensors, integrated energy systems, right? Hydrogen economy, SMRs, microreactors. So this is, yeah, like I said, this is pretty broad, but this is one of the areas we're soliciting, and it actually aligns pretty well now with some of the new stuff we're hearing coming out of the current administration. And the third area is advanced manufacturing for extreme environments. This can include things like intelligent design and fabrication. So how do we integrate machine learning models into the process control of these advanced manufacturing tool sets? What's the security of the supply chain, the resilience of the supply chain? Maybe a scaling of exotic alloys and materials. You know, think of multi-principal elemental alloys or high entropy alloys. These are of big interest to Department of Energy, Department of Defense. Looking at material synthesis and characterization techniques in situ and beamlines, molten salts and new materials for molten salt reactors, molten salt instrumentation, and then workforce development, right? How do we integrate policy and education and technology in this area? So these are the 3 topic areas. Hopefully you've seen these in the solicitation with a small description, and then I think there was some links to some national reports on these different topic areas, but also encourage you to go and look for your own, do your own search for these national reports that come out from like Office of Science and Technology Policy or Manufacturing USA Institutes, these kinds of different national entities that are driving national policy and investments in these different topic areas. Okay. For the energy frontiers, eligibility, this like kind of cut and paste out of the solicitation, so you can find it there as well. But the principal investigator of the team needs to be affiliated with the CASE institution, right? And that could be the universities or INL. This will be an INL subcontract for 1 year, up to $50,000. For universities, that's direct and indirect, and I'm not sure if INL will charge some kind of tax on that money because it is INL program development funds. So I don't know, Hillary, if you can comment on that, but we could probably find out later too. You know, successful applicants, we're going to be looking for a demonstrated record of scholarship through your publications, funded research awards, contributions to your field, successful programs that you've run as a PI, right? Participants from at least 3 of the K's institutions, and potential transdisciplinary partners. You might think of, you know, if you're doing something in nuclear, reaching out to the nuclear university consortium schools as well. What is your current research and or recent funding in this area? And is there a history of collaboration on the team in that research funding, right? Mentorship of early career faculty, graduate students, professional societies. So you can see there's a big portion of the evaluation is on the PI themselves, right? And how successful has the PI been in building teams in the past and leading successful mid-scale to large-scale research programs. Funding duration is 1 year, up to $50,000. Only 1 award this year across these 3 topic areas. Deadline, I think it's April 22nd. Is that right, Hillary? Or did we push that back a week?
No, that's correct. April 22nd. Though it seems like we could adjust that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it went out as April 22nd. We'll stick to that, and if you see anything from us, depending on the number of submissions, then just keep an eye out for more communication. What we're really aiming for is to have the selection by early May, so the contract can be in place by June, right? So that's kind of our goal there. It'll be a single application, 1 PDF file, right? With I think it's a 5-page application. You have a project summary, 4-page project description, 1 page of references, and then kind of the supporting documents, the 2-page bio sketches for all the PIs, and your budget justification.
Yeah.
I encourage you you should run this, university partners run this through your Office of Sponsored Programs, so they're aware and can help expedite the contracting process.
We do have a typo there. This is April 15th, which is what, like 2 days from now? It is the 22nd.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, if extensions are needed, please let myself and Dave know. And that will be, you know, considered as well.
And then did I end up stopping to share my screen? I guess I did. But that was kind of my last slide anyway. The last thing I'll mention here is that these are program development funds, and INL money that comes from that bucket of program development funds. I know some of you on the call have used these types of funds before. You cannot commingle these with direct funded INL programs or LDRDs. They cannot be used to collect data or perform research and development activities, purchase equipment, facility upgrades, membership to professional societies or subscriptions, development of licensees, spin-offs or technology commercialization, or recruiting or hiring or relocating new employees. And so what can you use the money for? You know, when you're building teams, travel is always helpful if you can do it under your COVID policies for your institutions. Graphic design, time of the PIs to actually sit down and write proposals, and things of that kind of nature, right? Literature reviews, I think are okay under here as well. So that's all I had for slides and kind of the review of the program. At this point, I'll turn over to Hillary if she wants to add anything, or any of the other staff, and then we can open up for questions. So Hillary, do you have anything you want to add?
Sure, yeah, just to address Dave's point about the overhead costs. So we have budgeted 50, up to 50 for 1 award for these proposals. So the overhead costs are slightly different for each university, depending on where you're coming from. And so those aren't included in the 50. So just so everyone's clear on that. So as close as you can get to your justification for your budget, how high the ceiling is would be most helpful for our business person. And then she works those contracts through your OSP. So depending on who your partners are, the cost could be different. Yeah, so just to know.
Okay. Michael, do you want to add anything?
No, I would just say, oh yeah, actually, when in doubt, apply. And this is a great opportunity. So when in doubt, apply. It's not a strenuous application. Go for it. And I would add, let us, if there are exemplary applications, let us find a way on the K staff side to fund something in a different manner. We have other ways to do things besides this specific project. So put it in and let us meet you halfway.
Yeah, I would add to what Michael just said, when in doubt, apply. Also, I encourage everyone to look at the new FOAs that are coming out and the additions with the new administration. They're quite a bit, they're quite a bit different than they were previously. There are some diversity and inclusion elements, obviously some new elements for the energy sector. So as you're applying, be aware of those institutional changes that have happened in the past 2 seconds, essentially, and think about how you'll consider that in your full proposal. It's always great to speak to that a little bit in your application as well.
And Matt, do you have anything you want to add or emphasize on where more info might be?
Yeah, check the K's website for more info, but I think you guys covered it pretty well. No questions here, but maybe others have some.
Okay. All right. So with that, we can we have one question. Could you share the slides? I can send these to Matt, but I think all this information is on the K's website, and I think there might be a version of the slides there, but we can definitely put these somewhere accessible as well.
It is that slide deck is on the site. And we'll have a link to the recording too. You guys can check the this Teams link and get the link to the recording after this is over as well.
Great. Thanks, Matt. All right. So at this point, it's open to the community here. If you guys have any other questions or seek any other clarification, you put the questions in the chat or just unmute yourself. And
Yes, I have a question.
yeah, who's this?
This is Bob Smith with the University of Idaho.
Okay, hi Bob.
When the note with the requirement of 3 K's institutions participation, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean you have to provide funding to 3 of the institutions, or that you have to have their commitment to work with you on the project? So for example, if you want to propose to do workshops, do you have to actually put funding in each of the institutions, or is it simply you just have to say investigators from 3 institutions saying they're going to work together to make it happen?
Yeah, we want the team to include investigators from at least 3 of the K's institutions. And how you divide your budget is up to the team.
Okay, and all right, that's what I needed to know. Thank you very much.
Yep. Is energy water nexus included in this FOA? Not explicitly, right, Dev? The energy water nexus might fit under the accelerating energy transitions, but I don't see a clear, you'd have to really connect it to some kind of advancing energy transitions, right? So it's not just energy water nexus. And Borang, yeah, we don't have the slides up yet, but that's the link for Energy Frontiers, and that's where the recording will go, I believe. And there's nothing different in these slides other than the info from the solicitation that went out, but we can get that updated on the website as well. Swap out the slide deck.
Yeah, we'll get that up there. And Dev, to your question, it's not explicitly listed in those. We have the three areas, right? And then it says other projects will be considered. So this is one of those areas where, in looking at the new calls, that this energy water nexus might come in. So if you're pretty familiar with what the direction of these new calls will be, then I would suggest justifying that in your application by speaking to those. So yes, not explicitly outlined, but we do point to other innovative projects as well. So don't feel discouraged from applying based on what you see listed there as the predicted focus areas. So.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, right? Like, we're anticipating some of the EFRC calls that might be targets for this planning grant, and the topics may change. So.
Yeah, another question maybe I have is on cybersecurity. I'm still not, I don't think I understood what is the scope of this cybersecurity. Is that the research? Is that extension to, different entities to educate about cybersecurity, or?
I would, from my view, I would see cybersecurity more as a crosscut in these areas, and not a single focus for like a cybersecurity center. But that said, if there's a great team in cybersecurity and you have a good justification, like Hillary said, go ahead and submit in that area. I would say that we do have CyberCore at INL or the research campus out there, and so that kind of is already an established center, and CyMan 2, right, the Cybersecurity Related Manufacturing Institute. So I guess I would look more for it across crosscuts in some of these other areas, but I don't know, Hillary, what do you think?
Will you repeat the question, please, Deb? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just not clear on what is the scope of cybersecurity, whether it is going to be like core research on how to maybe deter hackers, or it's going to be more like reaching out to industry to say, hey, you need to do things ABC and to be yourself secure, or something else. So I'm just not sure whether it's a student training about cybersecurity or actual core research on cybersecurity.
Gotcha. So I would say largely the focus at this point is cybersecurity in terms of grid protection of energy systems, and things of that nature. So kind of large scale cybersecurity efforts from what I know about the direction.
Okay.
Once again, I recommend kind of looking through the proposals or what's coming out from the administration regarding cybersecurity, because obviously there's quite a bit. So I can't speak to specifically what the direction will be, but from an INL perspective, that seems to be the direction for the next at least few months, is cybersecurity for the protection of energy systems, small, medium, and large scale.
Okay, got you. In that sense, a lot of companies like Schweitzer Engineering here, I'm sure they have their own cybersecurity team just to protect energy system. And it is being a very, I would imagine that that's going to be very secret kind of thing, and they're not going to expose what's the vulnerability is. So what would be the scope, industries integration into this academic program? Unless there is a mind joint effort between industry and academia.
Yeah, I think once, Dev, if let's say you were targeting the engineering research center from NSF and cybersecurity, right?
Okay.
Industry definitely has a role to play in those. It's like advisory board, providing internships for students, workforce development, right? And they're not going to share their internal research with the community, but that's where the academics can kind of be more transparent. But I would look, for those kind of partnerships with industry if they're not directly involved in the research or cannot be directly involved in the research.
Okay.
So I think we have a question from Todd. Panacar, once the K's award is announced, can a potential teaming list be developed for those who think they might provide some tangential capabilities, but were not in the core proposal? I would leave that up to the PI, Todd, to see how they want to further develop the team. Is that a good enough answer? I guess. I don't want to tell the PIs who to put on their team or, send a bunch of people their way without them soliciting that information.
Dave, let me just comment there. So I think there's a great point embedded in this is we've got 4 organizations, 3 universities, 1 national lab, all are big organizations. And I kind of look at this as Skittles and M&M's. Sometimes they align by colors, sometimes they align by taste. So we have 7 working groups. Obviously, there's connections between these by institution, by subject matter, by working group. So there's opportunity here, is what I just wanted to emphasize. But it's everyone's coming at it from different angles. We'd be happy to support and publicize not only the winner and see if there's additional opportunities, but this is like rocket fuel for going for the big stuff. And big stuff needs everyone, so it's good. Anyways, there's an opportunity here.
Yeah, Dave, my comment wasn't about forcing PIs into anything.
Yeah.
But just letting those who probably weren't on it potentially put their names in as, so if the PIs were like, man, we really need somebody who does XYZ, they can go and hunt that down a little quicker than just, trolling somebody's website.
A database of K's researchers with specific skill sets that the PI can draw from, kind of, or something to that effect.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can work on that after announcing the award, or maybe in parallel while we start reviewing proposals. I see someone has their hand up. Boron, is that right?
Hi. Yeah. Good morning, Dave. I have a question. I'm a little bit new to INL and the whole funding program, but I do identify some areas the interested areas that I'm familiar with. So, what might be your recommendation of me reaching out to people who might be interested?
At the universities or within the lab?
In the universities. I'm from INL.
Yeah, I think from the INL side, maybe Hillary or Michael might be have more information. But for the universities, I think if you're not familiar with the different research going on at the different universities, the first point of contact would be the associate director. And so for me, that's I'm the contact for Boise State. John Russell would be the contact for the University of Idaho, and David Rogers for Idaho State University. So they can, we're all pretty well aware of the different K's affiliates at our schools and research areas at our schools, and we can point you to the right professors or researchers that can complement your expertise. On the INL side, a good point of contact might be Terry Brogg. He's the K's director, but I don't know if there's other internal points of contact that might be better. Michael or Hillary, do you have anything on the INL side?
I would say if you do have those questions, please contact, I will put my email in the chat. Please contact myself or Michael, and we'll try our best to pair you as well. So feel free to contact us with those particular questions if you're looking for someone. Michael's pretty familiar with the EES&T Directorate, and I'm pretty familiar with the NS&T Directorate, and then we're both familiar with NNHS. So please just let us know what you're looking for. We're happy to help you navigate, and I'll put our emails in that chat.
Thanks, Hillary. Yeah, that's probably a better way to go about INL. And same for any of the university partners. Contact Hillary and if you're looking for specific INL expertise on your team. See, we've lost about half our participants. So I think we've answered a lot of questions. Any other questions that we can help address? Megan.
Hi, yeah, I'm just wondering, I'm used to doing live pitches. Of course, coronavirus has pretty much taken that option out of the arena. So I'm just wondering, what sort of visual, besides graphics, are you guys going to accept in the proposals?
Oh, well, the proposal is by visuals, I guess. What the proposal for the frontiers for the seed funding is about 5 pages and it's pretty prescribed, right? So hopefully you've seen that communication from Matthew. How you use the money to plan for the full proposal, right? That's kind of up to the team and the PI.
Okay, so then how many teams go through? If there, I guess I'm trying to figure out what that final team, who do they pitch to, or what? Oh,
so once you so the proposal for the seed funding is 5 pages, right? And that's we'll get you the program development funds. From there, the deliverable is the actual proposal to the federal agency that you're submitting to, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so the funds can then help you along the way to prepare that proposal. And if you want to use those for graphic design, if you want to use them for time, that's kind of up to the team.
And who are there any competitors at that point?
No, we're giving one award. Yep.
Okay.
And well, you would compete nationally, right, under whatever FOA you're applying to. But this is just the seed money, right, to support the team going for these larger proposals.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, and part of the motivation in general, just so the team is aware here, or all the affiliates, is that a lot of the Idaho universities don't have planning grant funds in place, right, or money to support teams to plan for these larger efforts. The example that came up a lot in our discussions of this program was the NSF F-score track 2 proposal that the state of Idaho goes for every so often, right? It's a $20 million 5-year grant. And really it takes probably about a $200,000 investment to prepare that proposal in terms of the PI time, the graphics, the team building activities, all that, right? So we're trying to work towards providing resources and hopefully in the future, more resources so that teams from our institutions can go after these larger proposals. Any other questions?
Megan, if you have specific questions, you can also email me or call me via Teams, and I can kind of help you navigate this sort of the intricacies of your question as well.
I guess one thing I would say is you are subject to your institutional rules for limited submission opportunities, right? INL does that a little different than the universities. But this is this is open, right? There's no limit on the seed money or the planning grant for Energy Frontiers, but there may be for the actual FOA for the center that you are proposing to pursue.
Yeah, so just some clarification for INL and university folks what that means. Often these cross-institutional our final products here need to be either submitted through the university INL at the time that you will submit your final project will have a new proposal system. So as early as you can, start to get an idea of data management and how you will manage the submission of these proposals, and being very clear with your proposal office or office of sponsored projects. That will help alleviate any sad feelings when you go to submit it finally. So, and these are all things that you aren't required in the application, but you can speak to them. So as always, you know, for these applications, they are quick, they are fast, and you know, it's an easy application to do. But speaking to these things before, you know, we cross the bridge and allowing for some specificity will kind of move that application along. So looking at the FOAs, looking at the different offices of sponsored projects, and also thinking about how you might make your team, to Todd's question, slightly multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary, and then also speaking to those new the new target directives for both research and personnel with the new administration will create a more robust proposal. So just kind of thinking through those things and the different kind of institutional hangups or institutional changes since January, for instance, will make that proposal really nice. Dave, you are on mute.
I just saw Megan's hand is still up. I don't know if she has another question.
No, I'm good. I was actually did not mean to do that.
I don't even know how you raise your hand on Teams. Oh, there it is. Okay. There it is. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Well, if we have no further questions, thank you all for joining. You know, we'll stay on in case other folks join. But Hillary's email should have gone out in the communications. It's in the chat. Feel free to email me as well. My contact info is included in those documents. And good luck putting together your proposal. I will turn off my camera, but keep the room open in case anyone has questions.
Thanks for setting this up, Matt.
Yeah, sure. Good work, you guys. So if I sign off, I think it might kill the meeting, but Looks like everybody's gone, so.
Yeah, I think we could probably go ahead and end it early. I don't see anyone joining. It's kind of a weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think we had a lot of interest, so that's good. I think.
Yeah. Matt, so does the recording, are you putting it up on the website, or I know Dave Rogers was interested in it.
Yeah, I was going to email him, but yeah, I can put it on the website too. That's a good idea. So as soon as we leave, the link should pop up in the chat to the recording, but I'll send it out to Dave and put it on the site.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.